Hi everyone, it's Tasha. Welcome back to my channel. Well, hello, thanks for joining me. Today I have a good old-fashioned thrift with me video planned, so let's dive right in. Okay, look how beautiful this large, very large, pewter tray is. This is not some lightweight aluminum tray. This thing is heavy. It's so beautiful. Look at the shape of the handles, the etching around the edges, the overall shape of it, not exactly an oval, but with those little scallops. It is perfect. I love it so much. And it has some age to it, I believe. It does have a few imperfections, but that's fine with me. Honestly, really like the fact that it has that kind of wavy finish on the top. And then I will show you. It was $6.99 at Goodwill. I didn't even stop to look this up. There was no point because $7 was a great deal regardless, but I was actually shocked once I got home and did look it up how much these trays just like this can go for. I wish I knew the brand on this, but I'm not totally sure, but man, they can really be expensive online. So I am so excited for this because I love that I'm incorporating a few more silver pieces, or silver toned rather, and gold toned isn't going anywhere. Obviously it's timeless as well, but I'm really liking that silver toned is having a moment in the spotlight again, and I think I'm going to try this out on my dining table. So at various times some of you have commented asking if my Goodwill really does write the prices directly on the items, and yes they do, unfortunately. Usually if it's a hard surface like this I can get it out with either some rubbing alcohol or a magic eraser like I was using there. In any case, I have styled this on my dining table. I think it looks great. I love the vintage charm that it brings to the space, and always a tray is really nice for corralling any various items that you have together and making them look more cohesive. I usually always have a vase here with some sort of flowers and my salt and pepper. And then recently I also found this little cloche. It may be a candle cloche, kind of like the one that I'm showing here that I found online, which would be really pretty. But I was thinking it could be used for either matches, but I already have one of those that I just picked up at Target, or toothpicks. And I thought that would be just a really fun way to display these. These particular ones are a little too tall, so I need to get myself a pack of the shorter, kind of standard sized toothpicks. But won't that be so pretty and such a nice, delicate, and fun way to display them? This past week, in addition to hitting all of my normal Goodwills and other thrift stores that are close by, which I definitely did, and I found some interesting things, but I didn't especially find a whole lot of items that I needed to bring home, although I did see a lot of interesting items. But I also had an antique shop the week before last when I was traveling, and I never showed you any footage from that, so I thought I would do that now. This was a really kind of surprisingly large thrift store that I found when I was heading back east to see family, and I stopped in there and I found some really interesting things. They had some beautiful old wooden pieces like this magazine rack shown here for $54. I also thought that this was really pretty. It was $23, which was not a bad price at all. I love the blue color, but really didn't need it, so I didn't bring it home with me. But this really stole the show for me. I thought it was so beautiful. This is a vintage piece that this said was from the 1950s, and it was made out of spun fiberglass. And so anyway, that literally, I gave a little gasp. I thought it was so pretty. Did not have a space for it at almost $600, but really, really cool. So while the only thing I picked up from the antique shop was a gift for someone else, I did end up finding a few more items at my local Goodwill. So one of the things I picked up was this toilet paper holder. Now I realize that's not the most romantic or exciting of items, but it is really useful, and I thought that this one was really sturdy, really nice, had a lot of good things going for it. I love the fact that it has a lid and that you can turn it around so you don't see the toilet paper at all if you want to. I didn't like how gray it was, and I also wanted to make it just generally look like it was a little bit more expensive and a little bit more high-end. I remember seeing this Etsy listing a while back when I was shopping for a new toilet paper holder for our water closet off of our master bathroom, and I really liked that dark color there. Now those are $44, but I was thinking a while back I did this little shelf makeover that you may remember. I took an orangey wooden shelf, gave it a coat of gray spray paint, and then went over it with some antiquing wax to make it look like a nice, rich, deep colored wood tone. And I really liked the way that turned out, and a lot of you really liked that flip as well. So I thought that since this piece was already gray, I would just start right there and do the same basic technique, except for this time I could go ahead and skip the painting part because it was already gray. This particular antiquing wax just really works well over a gray base because it makes that nice neutral dark brown that doesn't lean too cool or too warm. This antiquing wax is by Krylon and it's in a color called Dark Vintage, and if you haven't used this before, I would describe it as a very, very soft wax that's somewhere in between like you would picture a normal paint and a wax that you would kind of spread on with a cloth. So I like to apply this with a brush, and the more you rub it in and spread it out, the lighter it gets, so you can kind of control how dark or how translucent you want your piece to be. In this case, I would say I'm going in with a pretty like medium coat and just giving it enough where it's really making it dark. And I like the end result. Whenever I use this, it looks like it is more of a natural woven fiber now versus kind of the plasticky material, whatever it actually is. It's meant to be kind of waterproof and, you know, for in the bathroom and everything, which makes sense. But I wanted it to just have a more high-end look. And I think that this antiquing wax does the trick. It also doesn't hurt that this same can of antiquing wax has lasted me for like 2 years now. I've used it on so many different projects and it still has like a quarter of the can, so it goes for a very long time. I'm gonna go ahead and do the inside of this basket too, just to really finish it off. When you open it up, you're not gonna see a different color and look kind of, you know, cheesy. I think that it turned out really well. You can see it here in the sunlight, the true color that it turns out when you use this over a gray base. Now, the little water closet that I mentioned a moment ago, I had already picked out this toilet paper holder, which was from Wayfair, which I really love. And we're going to be working on our other bathroom soon, so I can't really show it to you in there quite yet. My husband managed to hurt his back, and so we're going to wait until he's feeling better to tackle that. But I'll show it to you in this water closet just for styling purposes. I like how you can turn it around and not have to see the toilet paper at all, but there it is at hand when you need it.
You tell me you're scared. You tell me you're weak.
Well, I laid this out on the floor and then went upstairs to get dressed before I filmed it in the morning here, and this happened. He feels the need to lay on anything and everything that I put on the floor, especially if it's something new. So I can kind of get this one because it's comfy. But check this out. It's this beautiful toile fabric, and it's actually, I say fabric, it's actually a comforter that someone has made. It has this silky kind of blue backing on it, which I'm not a fan of just personally. But what drew me to this, which was from Goodwill, it was in the like linen bins where everything is priced just basically by whatever it is. So the comforters there are, I think, $5.19. But what drew me to this is the fact that it's a linen fabric, and then also I really like these browns in it. I like the little dog. I like the trees, especially this tree here, and the fact that it was big. This is folded up. It's about a queen size when I measured it. And I don't want to keep it as a comforter just because this is not my style. This backing, this silk isn't something that I would normally have, and I don't even have a queen size bed in the house, so it's just not for me. And I can tell that someone made it because when I opened it up, this pin was here, and you can take a look inside and see that someone has used like a different comforter with like a floral print and added this fabric on top, and they did a good job for what it was, but it's just not something I want to keep as it is. So I want to use this as fabric, and I'm trying to decide which direction I want to go. Again, it's a queen size piece, so there's plenty of fabric to be used, and so I'm just going through different ideas. You'll have to let me know which idea I should go with. Now, if the pattern on the piece that I found was larger and didn't repeat so often, I would definitely be trying to do something like this piece from McGee & Co. This is upwards of $1,500 at the moment. It's very, very large, I'll say that, but it's just that framed fabric toile, and it's a really high-end look, I think. Also, These curtains from Pottery Barn are $179. As far as I can tell, that's per panel, so that can add up really quickly. I could make a set of curtains out of mine, but I don't really need to. Also, something that you can do with fabric that you love from the thrift store is make yourself some cloth napkins. Mine is linen, so that would be great to make napkins out of. Also, cotton is great if you find a print that you like. Also, something like a table runner or a tablecloth or a pillow cover, which I've done plenty on this channel before. So let me know what you think that I should do with this particular fabric. I have made myself some cafe curtains from a table runner that I found before. I've made pillow covers, so never let what the fabric is intended to be stop you from turning it into something else. You know, some weeks at the thrift shops I find bigger, more impactful items like this chest of drawers that I found a couple of weeks ago and flipped it, and I'm using it in my living room. I love it, and that's exciting, but some weeks it's just real life. You find more smaller items, small touches, and this week was like that for me. And so I want to share with you a couple of small things that I found. This beautiful glass votive was only $1.99 at Goodwill. It started out at $15 at whatever shop it was initially from. It has a very Anthropologie look to me. I don't know that it's necessarily from there, but it just has that vibe. It's just a nice, unique piece, and I thought that it would be great for fall just because of that dried grass and the added textural element, just to sit a tea light in. Here, it doesn't always have to be something fancy or complicated. Just a simple glass votive that you find to be pretty might be all that you need to give your home a little bit of a perk for the week and make it feel a little more homey to you. And so that's what this did for me. It only cost $2, and I think that it has a uniqueness and a nice charm about it that made it totally worth it for me. And another small thing that I found this week was this set of 4 napkin rings. I like to use napkin rings. I like to use my cloth napkins whenever possible, and I always like to add a napkin ring. I just feel like it completes the look. Now, for $2 each, I think that that was a pretty good deal. Normally a set of 4 marble napkin rings would be $25 or more, just depending where you're shopping, and so $2 each, that's $8. Our family is only 3 people normally, so this would fit our family on a normal everyday basis. And I've just been thinking recently about using little pieces like this, for example, or like the cloth napkins, or your candles, like going ahead and using those, burning those, whatever it is, in your everyday life, rather than buying things and then saving them up for special occasions that may or may not ever happen. So that's just something, food for thought, that I've been thinking recently. Sometimes I find myself looking at a candle and I think, oh, I don't want to burn it today. I don't want to waste it, but today is a day. Today is the perfect day to burn the candle. Today is the perfect day to go ahead and use the linen napkins to add the marble napkin rings, whatever little touches you have. So it's just a food for thought. I'm going to be thinking about that some more as we head into 2026 as well. So I thought that I would share it with you. In any case, I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, I would really appreciate you hitting the like button before you leave, and leave me a comment letting me know what you enjoyed and what you think. Also, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you would like to see more of these videos in your feed. And I hope that everyone listening, as always, has a fantastic week, and I'll see you all again at the next video.
So just sit with me, talking through the night and through the morning.